What is going on, guys, and welcome to the West Ham versus Chelsea preview. Chelsea have the chance to extend their lead at the top of the table to 10 points on Spurs this evening if they win at the London Stadium for the first time in their history. The last time we played West Ham at the London Stadium, we have in fact played them there. We did lose by 2-1 in the EFL Cup on my birthday in a very, very poor performance. As I say, we can move 10 points clear tonight. 11 points. Is that right? 11? 10? 10 points clear. Yeah, I believe that to be right. Yeah. 10 points clear. 11 ahead of City. 10 ahead of Tottenham. And unbelievable, 14 points from Liverpool. Granted, Manchester City have a game in hand, but you would still feel it's a massive gap to bridge for Manchester City, and we'll be praying that Stoke City can do something that I don't think they will and beat them at the Etihad. Team news: West Ham expect that Andy Carroll will be back after his groin injury. The man who loves to play against Chelsea and just loves to score even more, puts in world-class performances every time he faces us, and we can't seem to deal with him. He is the problem. He is the thing I'm worried about tonight against West Ham. However, winger who we were linked with in January, Mikel Antonio, is serving a one-match suspension, so he will miss the game. He has had loads of goals, loads of assists for West Ham this season, been one of their best players this season, so that is a very, very good sign. Eden Hazard is expected to be okay after suffering a knock in training from a tackle from an unnamed player, but he is expected to play tonight against West Ham away from home. And it is expected that Fabregas will be preferred to Nemanja Matic, and we could name an unchanged side from the side that beat Swansea at Stamford Bridge by 3-1. However, I don't think that will be how it is, in my opinion. I just don't think Fabregas starts tonight. I want him to, but I think Conte will prefer Matic in an away game. He'll remember what happened in the EFL Cup. We were terrible. West Ham were very good, but we were awful. And, you know, it's the only... When you think about it, since we changed system, it's the only team other than Tottenham that have beaten us. Admittedly, it wasn't a full-strength side, but still, it wasn't a great performance. But look, the way I look at it tonight, player by player, 11 by 11, you know, you go through the team, goalkeeper, we have the better team. That doesn't necessarily mean we're going to win. The problem is going to be how we cope with Andy Carroll. We have struggled like mad to cope with him recently when he's played us. He has been a nightmare for us. West Ham, we haven't found it easy against West Ham in recent years. I think back to the West Ham game, Mourinho season. I suppose it was last season. We lost against them at what was Upton Park then. We narrowly beat them in the opening game of the season this year, 2-1, late goal from Costa, admittedly. But why am I not massively worried? I mean, I will admit I am a little bit scared, but it is because we've changed the system. We look solid, and this is a different Chelsea. This is a different Chelsea, of course, from the Mourinho Chelsea last year, but it's a different Chelsea from the side that West Ham faced on the opening day. This is a Chelsea that are 2 or 3 players away from being world class. I mean that massively. A bit of depth, 2, perhaps, yeah, I'm going to go 2, 3 players away. And when I say you're probably like what positions, I'm probably thinking about a left wing back, a right wing back, and possibly and just a bit of depth, really. And it's not to say I don't like Victor Moses. I like Victor Moses, but we need someone to be pushing him. Alonso, I think we could do better than him. I think there's a better player out there than him. That's not to say he hasn't done okay this season, because he has. He's got a lot of goals, he's got a lot of assists, but he has been poor in other ways as well. Now, I'm going to make a prediction here, and I will most probably be wrong. What I think is going to happen tonight, because Conte made a comment, we have something to... we have a different solution to try and deal with the Andy Carroll problem. Something along those lines. Now, he could mean tactically, or he could mean personnel. As I say, I personally think Matic will play. I hope he doesn't, but I think he will. However, the back five, I think, might look a little bit different. I think we might have Kurt Zuma playing and Azpilicueta on the right wing-back position. It's just a thought. I don't necessarily think it's going to happen, but I think the problem that we will have, and no doubt Slavan Bilic will have thought about, will be that right-hand side. You know, Moses and Azpilicueta, they're not the tallest. And when you think about this season, when we've looked, you know, when teams have looked good against us, or not good against us, but when we've looked in trouble at the back, it's usually been because of the height or lack of height on that right-hand side with Azpilicueta and Victor Moses. I mean, Azpilicueta, I think, is one of the best defenders in the league. I really, really do. But you have to admit, he hasn't got that height. You look at the Tottenham game. Ali absolutely destroyed us with 2 headers in that game. Other than that, there weren't much in it. You know, Tottenham beat us 2-0, but it was 2 headers. We have to be careful. Andy Carroll will know... Look, put it this way. Carroll's not going to be pushing himself out onto the Cahill-Alonso side. He's not going to do it. He's going to be on this right side with Victor Moses and Cesar Azpilicueta. And I'm not being funny. It's just simple science that Azpilicueta is not going to be able to compete in the air with Andy Carroll. As I say, there are other solutions to this problem. Do you drop Azpilicueta and play Zuma? Do you put Azpilicueta to the right wing-back and drop Moses? There's options. Or do you stick it as the same and say to David Luiz, you need to be covering... you basically need to stick on Andy Carroll. Simple as that. You have to stick on Andy Carroll for 90 minutes of this game. You have to man-mark him. And Azpilicueta is almost going to have to play the David Luiz role tonight. I don't know. I don't know whether that's going to work. I'm sure they've sorted it out in training. They've got a plan. Will it work? We'll have to wait and see. But that is the lottery, you know, tonight with West Ham. That is the bit that could give them a result that they want. Could cause us a hell of a lot of problems. And look, Andy Carroll, I think, on his day, is unplayable. I think he's technically, I think he's a very good player. I think he can hold the ball up well. And his heading is honestly world class. I think he's one of the best headers of the ball. We have to be aware of that. Don't get me wrong. Conte's a professional. He'll be aware of it. The only thing, again, why I think maybe Matic will be preferred, again, is just that little bit more height. Fabregas hasn't got the height. Kante, fantastic defender. Intercepts like, I mean, he's like a marathon runner. He's incredible. But they haven't got height on him. So, look, as I say, the team is going to be interesting to see. And even if the team's the normal team, just seeing our shape and whether David Luiz does man-mark Andy Carroll, whether even Azpilicueta and Cahill swap sides. So you've then got this kind of tall, small. I mean, Alonso's not short, but I suppose he's not particularly tall. I don't know what the solution is. I've given my couple of options, but I don't really want to drop Victor Moses because I think he gives us a lot going forward. Although I think in recent weeks he has been poor. If I was picking a team, I would probably go unchanged. So that means Fabregas over Thingy, but I would have David Luiz man mark him. And honestly, I don't know how that would work. And it would probably fail miserably, and that's why I'm not a football manager. But for me, Azpilicueta and Victor Moses versus Andy Carroll is a very big worry. It has to be something we're worried about. And you've got to say Andy Carroll must be licking his lips with the prospect of that. And as I say, that's not to say Azpilicueta's not a fantastic defender, because he is. But he does worry me airily, simply because he's just not tall. It's not because I don't think if he was a 1 foot taller, I wouldn't be worried about it, but he's not. Going forward, we need Fabregas on for that creativity. Costa's not been fantastic recently. Got a goal last week against Swansea, but it was a poor performance from him. Eden Hazard, he's been, since the Arsenal game again, he's been okay. I thought he played well against Swansea, if I'm honest with you. I thought he played very, very well against Swansea, in fact. Pedro, I think them three are very, very good together. They really are linking up well. But we really need Costa to have a good game tonight. Hazard, on the break, on the counter, we look good on there. I think when you look at the team, and as I say, when you look at this game, we should not lose. We have to be careful, though. We do have to be careful if Andy Carroll... if Andy Carroll doesn't play, I think it's an easy win. If Andy Carroll plays, it could be difficult. I think we'll win tonight. I'd like to see us win comfortably. I don't necessarily think it will be that. I think it'll be a tough game. I think it'll be like the Burnley game away. Hopefully a different scenario. Hopefully us being able to get the win. I think the big thing is going to be the first goal. If West Ham get that first goal, we're in trouble, because they are going to sit back, they're going to defend, they're going to put people behind the ball, and we might struggle to break them down. If we get the first goal, I think we'll be all right. It's a big game tonight, folks. As I say, we can move 11 points, or was it 10 points? I can't remember what I said. 10 points clear of Tottenham, 11 of Manchester City, and 14 ahead of Liverpool. 16 ahead of Arsenal, 17 ahead of Manchester United. Jesus Christ. I think we are closing in on the Premier League title, but we're not there yet. We have to be careful. We have to be wary. If we lose tonight and Manchester City win their game in hand, they're 5 points away from us. They've still got to play us. Things then reopen up. We have to keep winning. We have to keep being relentless. We have to put the pressure on Manchester City at home to Stoke by winning. City and Tottenham, they've put the pressure on us by winning their games at the weekend. We've now got to put the pressure back on them and just see whether they can deal with that. We've been doing it all season. When the pressure's on, we've been able to deal with it. And hopefully we can do that. Tonight will be a tough game. It's not going to be free-flowing. I don't think we'll win the game comfortably, if I'm honest with you. We're going to have to dig in. We're going to have to fight. We're going to have to show that champions winning performance by getting stuck in, by digging in and getting a result tonight. At the end of the day, I don't care how we get there. I don't care how scrappy it is, how boring or poor the game is. So long as we've got the 3 points at the end of the game, that is all that matters. Look at Leicester City last season. Look at the way we won the Premier League the season before that. 1-0 wins. Not comfortable wins, scrappy wins, just getting over the line, falling over the line is all that matters. Over the years, under Alex Ferguson, Man United were fantastic at it. Final few games of the season, when you get into that final quarter of the season, Manchester United just used to fall over the line. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, because there's a skill to it. There's a skill to be able to consistently get in the win. We've got that winning mentality in the team. We've got to keep it going. Get another win here against West Ham. As I say, we've struggled against them in recent years. In my opinion, they've been a bit of a bogey side for us. Good performance is not even a necessity tonight. Although a lot of people, if we win and we play poorly, will moan and groan. I'm not going to moan and groan. I just want to win. Simple as that. And then we look onwards, and we look on to what I believe is the quarter-final of the FA Cup against Manchester United at home. Big game. Can we make it? The double's still on for us. It's a fantastic opportunity for us. I said Zuma might come in, and Terry's another option to come in today, but I don't think that will happen. But then we've got Stoke City away in the Premier League. A tough place to go to Britannia Stadium, or I think it's called the Bet365 Stadium. We've then got Crystal Palace at home. We've got to win these next 3 games. I'm going to put it out there. We win the next 3 games, folks. I'm excluding the Manchester United game. We win the next 3 games in the Premier League. I think we're pretty much home and hosed, because we'll have 7 games to play, or not. I can't count. 9 games to play. And we'll be in a very, very nice position. Of course, we've got that Manchester City game. I mean, I think it's clear. Whatever happens, so long as we don't collapse and lose all our games up until that Manchester City game, we beat Manchester City at Stamford Bridge, we'll win the league. City are in a good run of form, but us versus City at Stamford Bridge, we beat them away from home. We beat City at Stamford Bridge, we've won the league. Simple as that. Nobody's going to be able to catch us. I mean, Tottenham is still there, but I think they'll falter before now. I mean, they look very, very good at home, but away from home, they fall apart. I still think there's some frailties with that Tottenham side, especially with Harry Kane. I mean, yes, he's scoring loads of goals at the moment, but I'm still not convinced about it. But anyway, we'll end the video here, because if we keep talking, the play game will have started by the time I actually finish it. If you didn't know 5 days ago, you probably missed it. I mean, I personally did. Moses did sign a contract extension with Chelsea. That's great, well deserved. What a season he's had. That's nice as well. And a note on Fernando Torres, obviously suffering that injury, a terrible head injury. Atletico Madrid in the game, rushed to hospital. Everyone was very, very concerned about him, but he is okay. He is out, and he was at the Atletico game yesterday. So obviously wish him the best, and hopefully he can come back and be playing for Atletico Madrid in no time. As much as people call Fernando Torres a flop, I'll never ever forget the goal he scored against Barcelona. What a wonderful night that was. Probably one of the best nights as a Chelsea fan in my whole entire life. Bar the night that followed, that being when we beat Bayern Munich in the penalty shootout. It was kind of a mixture. It was the worst night of my life and the best night. That's just Chelsea for you, isn't it? Thanks for watching. I'll try and do a review later on tonight if I can be bothered. If we lose, I probably won't. No, I'm joking, I will. It's more like if we lose that I do a review than any other way. But hopefully we can get 3 points. We can move ourselves 10 points clear in the Premier League. And move ever closer to retaining, Jesus Christ, to winning back the Premier League Championship. I don't know why I keep calling it the Championship. Premier League. moving ever closer and sticking it in the face of our previous manager, Jose Mourinho, who, let me just mention it again, we will be 17 points clear of Manchester United if we beat them today. Not if we beat them today, if we win today. And then maybe, just maybe, we can dump them out of the FA Cup next week. Oh, wouldn't it be a pretty sight? Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.